Play clock at 5. Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler.
You have Marshawn Lynch in the backfield, and you chance it with a pass play.
One of the dumbest calls offensively in Super Bowl history.
Would you have told him to do the same play, or would you have chosen something else?
The reason fan-controlled football was so appealing is because all fans think that they could call plays from their couch, and fan-controlled football league allows them to do it.
Diehard sports fans almost instantly are like, oh, never thought about that. That's freaking cool.
It is fun. It is fast. It is different. Like, you watch it and you get it.
We literally took a step back and said, hey, how do we redefine football and then sports in general for the digital age?
And the first touchdown called by fans as people are going nuts here in the Maverick Center.
We're always pushing ourselves and kind of pushing to the limit of turning ultimate power over to the fans. I first got interested in football growing up as a Dallas Cowboys fan in Texas, and my goal in life was to own the Dallas Cowboys. So I've always kind of had this idea of being in sports, being in football. I think the FCF idea, I think what's unique about it is I never take credit, and the only co-founder here that does is actually Grant.
So it was my idea first, just to be clear.
I was the only one that came up with an app that made players do a play. I was the first one that did this in football, literally. They would say whatever they want to say, every line, all of them. Say, okay, I got the paperwork.
So without doing a whole lot of diligence, my brothers and I became co-owners of the Las Vegas Outlaws with Vince Neil. I felt like there was something really interesting about this indoor game, kind of in this closed environment where you could really kind of control the atmosphere and get fans involved in a much deeper way. You know, I made a bunch of calls after that. Patrick and I worked together actually at a mobile phone company prior to that we had started and sold in 2011.
Sorab and I have been good friends and partners for years, long before any of this stuff. You know, we found Grant via LinkedIn looking at like, hey, has anybody ever done this before? We took a meeting with him. Obviously, Grant is the best.
Back then, if you'd ever Googled fan run sport, fan run whatever, we were the only people that ever published anything about it. So they found us, DM'd us, and myself and my buddy Joey, and said, hey, I want to talk. And I said, hey, look, I came out of it. I called the guy. I said, hey, I'm sore. And I said, I'm going downtown, and I got to fly to San Francisco to this deal. Let's talk next week. And he's like, no, I want to meet right now. I'll meet you in downtown LA in half an hour, which if you know the geography of LA, where he was coming from Manhattan Beach, that is a very big commitment to drive that many miles and that much traffic. I was like, all right, this guy's crazy, but okay. Chopped it up and bromance ensued.
I met Ray through a mutual friend, Tony Parrish, who Ray played with at the Chicago Bears. And I was talking to Tony about this idea of letting fans be in control. Tony looked at me and said, man, that is dumb. I would never want fans to call plays for me. But I got a buddy who played at the Chicago Bears who thinks this is really cool. He's actually working on something similar, so let me put you in touch.
I was in Chicago working on a beta test app to allow fans to, call plays from their phone. And I did a pretty good job getting it to a certain place. And I just ran out of money. Didn't know what I was doing. It was just an idea on the back of a napkin. A few months later, Tony called me back up and says, hey man, I ran into a guy named Sorab Faruti, and he has an indoor football team in the Arena League. And he was kind of thinking of, having fans run a football team. And I was just like, I got nervous. I was like, oh, somebody else is thinking about this. So Rob looked at us all and was like, look, let's do it. Instead of competing with each other and us maybe making it work, we said, why not come together like the Four Tops and the Temptations and New Edition and do that? And that's what we did.
I think that's the thing that got us through, was having that core group of guys that could go out and get a drink together, pick each other up when we're crying, and then celebrate the successes. Be happy about everything that we accomplished. And I think it's having the right people around you that makes all the difference.
More than 100 athletes have descended upon the Peach State to take part in a brand new football experience.
Like somebody pulled out of my head what I always thought this could be and built it in the arena.
And that's the first Manziel to Gordon Connect since December 21st, 2014.
Bringing in former players like Johnny and Turbo and Josh. We didn't really plan that this year. That was never part of the plan. Those things just sort of fell into our lap and was like, well, heck, let's do it.
Keeps it himself, crouched to the end zone. Is he in? Touchdown! Wild Aces
I mean, it's just crazy that you can make the selection on your phone.
There's nothing like it.
I think we're lucky enough to say this is exactly what we dreamt about years ago.